Hi, I hope everyone can hear me. So, I decided to make this new video because I just recently crossed 8 years nofap. But, also, I want to make this video and discuss what I am rather upset about because a few days ago I trusted a guy called Leo in the group chat on Instagram, and I was rather surprised, I have to be honest, with his decision and also the lack of trust I feel because you know I am someone that has been trolled many times online, and I that's why you see I don't really trust people that much, and it's very good reason because people do take advantage of me, and that's something that I have learned to be more suspicious and wary. Anyway, so also this is why I don't give admin role away either because it's cost me dearly in the past, even after I let Finn Lee take their promise to God not to break it. So now he's blaming Naylor and said that he was under mind control. And okay, but the bottom line is before he agreed to take the oath to God, to Lord Shiva, he still agreed not to give it away under any circumstances, which included blackmail and brainwash and basically anything because it's a very serious decision to make. And it's a matter of trusting someone 100%, having that faith that no matter what happens, you're going to be safe and you're not going to lose your admin role to manage the group. Anyway, I won't go too deep into that now. What I was really upset about, disappointed, and angry was that Leo. I don't know why he he basically he called me a liar. Basically, I mean he believed Connor over me, and I told him. In fact, it's not the first time. He knows about the history, about the trolling, about the swearing, because I told him this last year. I think it's almost a year we've known each other on a group chat. So I'm pretty sure in that old group chat, I told him exactly the history of the trolls, who's trolled me, why, and so I don't know if he's suffering from a short-term memory problem, or he's just lazy and didn't check, his messages because I did tell him too in the direct messages. I told him about the trolls and what happened. So I'm sure if he made the effort to check the history and scroll up, he would see. So I really don't understand. And second of all, he asked me to give the profile of Connor because he wanted to speak to him about the trolling. Now, I warned him. I said this might not be a really good idea because he will try and twist you against me and lie, and be careful because Obviously, he's not going to admit his fault. The day that he wanted me to go live in the first place when it first started. And again, I mean, this is going back nearly 4 years, so I don't know if those old group chats would still be there. But what I do know is him, Slammy, Sams, and someone called Siggy and Kylie were all making group chats and encouraging me to get the app to go live so they would stop swearing. Now, obviously, at that time, I didn't know how to go live. I only used a laptop to access Instagram. I didn't have it on the phone at that point. But the point is, yes, I did used to join their live streams, but what they did was say that they would not be swearing. And I mean, probably more importantly is that they all claimed they were Christians. Well, I think apart from Kylie, who said she didn't believe in God or something, according to those words, she wasn't religious. So, okay, we can let her off. I mean, it's still not right, the abuse and everything, the swearing, but at least we can say, well, she doesn't have this excuse that, oh, I claimed to be a Jesus follower. But what we do know is the rest of them are all fake Christians. And again, there's no two ways about it. If you're going to claim that you're a Christian and also that, that swearing is not bad, then you are contradicting yourself. It can't be both. And, to claim that he claimed that I was harassing him for 4 years, absolute trash, absolute nonsense. Like I said, he was the one that invited me in his live streams. In fact, he started following me. I'm not sure, it might have been the first follower. I'm not sure, but what I do know is that I got the message on the notifications that he followed me and I accepted, and also he asked me to follow him on YouTube. When he used to do YouTube, he said if I follow him, he will also follow me back on YouTube. So I thought, well, maybe he means well. So I did. But anyway, without going too much into detail, the fact that Leo could believe him over me when he said, and we both agreed that he was a troll, is very, very disappointing, and I'm very annoyed because, I didn't really expect that Leo would backstab me like that. And also, I mean, a few others I had to boot out of the group chat because I felt they were also, turning against me and backstabbing me in a way. Now, also with Leo, I mean, he's no stranger to this because, like I said, I explained all this in the direct messages. So I don't know if it's him just not reading it or forgetting, because like I said, I don't want to really have to keep repeating myself and going over the same thing again and again, because one, it's a waste of time. If I mean, like I said, if it's the first time, then yes, I will explain everything to the best of my knowledge and ability. But once I've done it once and someone asks me again what happened, then I'm thinking, well, I've just told you already, so why am I saying it again? You know. Anyway, so the point is, this really didn't turn out too well because then he told me that I'm a liar. Well, more or less, he said that he doesn't believe me. So, that felt really bad. And and then they're saying, well, do you have concrete evidence? Well, no, of course not. I mean, something that happened, uh, what, the swearing and everything on the live stream and all of that. Well, obviously, I'm not going to, if it's Connors and Naylor's live stream, I'm not going to have all the history because, I didn't screenshot or save all the abuse and everything and the blackmail. So I'm not going to really have all that. And obviously, I think that he's deleted everything anyway because he was using multiple accounts. So from what I was told that he deleted that account. So obviously all the whatever he said and whatever messages and whatnot would be gone. So no, I don't have, the concrete evidence that he expects me to have. But I did show him a few screenshots from when Connor was saying to go live. So again, that contradicts his claim that I am harassing him, and also him asking me to buy his merch and then saying that he would stop swearing if I bought it, which again, I've got concrete evidence of that. So, all these claims he's making have been contradicted. So I'm just, really upset at how it turned out. And, obviously, these guys are not going to admit they're trolls. They just won't. And even if they do, they'll try and make out. Sometimes they blame each other, well, I wasn't involved, he did it, and then the other one would blame the other one. So, either way, it really doesn't make sense to try and get them to change and to admit they're wrong because it won't happen. Very, very rarely someone admits, they're a troll and repents. I mean, I'm not saying, that everyone won't, is like this. Some people do change, but it's very, very rare. In my experience, having done, well, haven't been on live stream for over 3.5 years now, and also on group chats, I have to say it's very rare that someone will change their ways once they're caught trolling. So, I mean, reflecting on it, I think this was probably a bad idea to even get him to speak with Connor because it didn't really, I saw, and also I saw Connor swearing in the actual while they were talking. Well, his messages had the F word and the S word. So clearly, again, that's evidence in itself that, he was a troll. He was pretending to not swear for over a year, he said. He promised me. So, all this is evidence in a way that he's been trolling me. He's been lying. he's been swearing, and he used to make excuses like, he was hacked in the past and all sorts of things. He said something about being cloned on one video call when he was swearing. So, they make these excuses. What can you say? They're ignorant and they really believe I would fall for it. So, yeah. But yeah, that's why I put Leo out of the group chat, because he hurt me. I mean, obviously not physically, but emotionally and yeah, mentally he upset me. So yeah, until December he's going to be out of that group chat until he pulls himself together. And I don't really think he'll be testing trolls in the future. Well, certainly not these old ones, because it obviously, he's not good. He told me he wants to improve his knowledge and get better at detecting trolls, but you see, I told him anyway, so he knows, he knows the history already. It's not like even a first time, that someone's new onto this and they've been tested as to whether they're genuine or not. This is someone that has been a troll in the past. And again, I showed him evidence of it. I showed him voice recording evidence. I showed him text evidence. So, what more does he need to understand? And I told him, of course, in the past. So, to still believe Connor and his lies about me being the one harassing him is just unbelievable and ridiculous. So, I'm just not really happy with that. And a few other people, who was, thinking that Connor was in the right. So, yeah. So that's why, I put him out. And, yeah. And I don't think in the future he would be doing this, because, if I can't trust my own members in the group chat to be loyal, when I tell them someone's a troll and show them, then, what's the point having them in the group chat? And also, and is it really worth, that's the other thing, is it really worth speaking to them at all? Because, like I said, it doesn't really lead anywhere. If you know they're a troll and you've been given evidence, and I mean, the only reason I suppose would be to see why they acted like that. But in terms of getting them to admit it, I doubt, you're going to get an honest answer. It's a bit like asking the devil to stop, acting like the devil, basically, and deceiving people, Is he really going to listen? I doubt it, I mean, only God can overcome and overpower him, and high-level saints as well, I suppose. But certainly, he's not going to just stop, doing what is in his nature, because that's his nature. So it's, it's the same principle, basically. A troll really isn't going to stop their trolling just because, you're going to try and make them understand that, trolling is bad, unless they're forced, by Instagram or someone to stop their trolling. Anyway, I think we'll wrap it up. I mean, that was all I basically wanted to say, and hopefully, the following goes up so I can go live. I need 1,000 followers, so yeah, let's see how that goes. Okay, and yeah, everyone say congratulations on their 8 years of Nofap. Okay, bye.